Time to replace the heater core. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to replace the heater core on a Ford Ranger. What we got here is a 94 Ford Ranger. Has the 4.0 V6, and the customer wants the heater core replacement. So these things are pretty much straightforward. You got your in and out hoses there. Somebody's done replaced these hoses before, so it don't have the factory clamps on it. So you can take them two clamps off here, probably clamp off the hoses, so I don't lose much fluid out of these hoses or whatever. And this one, you actually don't have to take the dash out of it. Pretty much, you got your cover plate, little piece of carpet cover plate that goes underneath the dash, right under here. And you got four of these little bitty clips right here. And then, I'm gonna see if I can get it on camera. Cover plate right here, and it's got four little 8mm screws. So you got two on each side. And then pull it down, pull the heater core out. So I can get the rest of this cover off. I got 3 of the screws out already. I'll get the other one out, and we'll come back and show you what we got done. All right, so we got the cover plate off, and I wanted to show you, I don't know if you can see it on camera, there's a little drain right here. So this thing starts leaking, and this goes through the firewall and then actually drain out that little hole right there. So what I got to do now is, I still have not unhooked the hoses going to it. So we'll get them unhooked, and then we'll pull this one out. I'll show it to you. We'll go ahead and stab the other one in there, and it'll be pretty much reverse. It'll be put the cover plate back on it, put the carpet cover plate back on it, hook the hoses up, top the system off with coolant, and call it done. So I'll get back at you in a minute. All right, everybody. I can understand a clamp being a little too small or a little too big, but they look like they're way too big. Like I said, it looked like somebody put new hoses on this thing, so it was probably leaking from the heater core, and they put new hoses on it, and it was still leaking. But that's not good. So we'll probably mark them off and at least cut them off, do something. If I can find some more in the garage, I'll put some different ones on it. But that just looks bad. I don't know if I'm supposed to get a socket or a screwdriver or a cutting torch to get them things off. So we'll get them off here in just a second, and get this thing swapped out. 12 hours later. So I fiddled with it a little bit last night, and what a pain in the butt that them two clamps were right there to get off. But we got them off, and you see what we found. We're just gonna put the factory clamps back on there. It'll make it a whole lot easier. Just to, I've even got the tool that I can cramp on there, take a pair of pliers and put the hoses on there and squeeze them back here, and it'll be a whole lot easier. I had a hard time getting these off, for one, and for two, it wasn't tight. It wasn't hardly tight at all. But okay, so we got the hoses on. So basically just push that sucker, push it almost through. We'll come in here, went ahead and put some towels in here because we're gonna have some antifreeze come out of this thing, and see if we can get it to come out on camera. Maybe not. Yeah, well, of course it ain't gonna come out for me one-handed, left-handed. So let me get it out, and we'll show you what it looks like, and we'll go from there. All right, everybody, as soon as I turned the camera off, I reached up in there and it just pulled right out. Imagine that. Probably one of the easiest heater cores in a newer model car, which is 94 model, ain't really newer model, but I'm pretty sure my 95 S10, you got to take the dash out of the thing to pull the heater core out. So this is not too bad at all. So I ordered the other heater core, and I neglected to order it until just early this morning. And they were saying it was going to be there by possibly by 2 today. If not 2 today, it'll be Monday, and today is Saturday. So As soon as I get the heater core, we'll get back with you and we'll just go in reverse and put the other one back in here, and I'll show you the me putting the other clamps on there, and instead of trying to fool with them worm clamps on there. That's just it's just not enough room in there for that. But I'll get back with you when I got a part. 2 days later. All right, so we got this got us a heater core here. So we're gonna put a little bit of this foam stuff right across the bottom, a little down here, a little down here, a little piece across the top, and we'll come back at you in a minute and we'll get it stabbed in there. Okay, so you just slide it back up in that hole, get it up there to where the two pipes come out of the two holes up there. And before we put that stuff back together, we're gonna go ahead and get these two heater hoses hooked back up. So give me just a second. Much easier. Now, if I had room back here to actually tighten the clamps up, and you can't hardly get a screwdriver in there, you can't hardly get a socket. I've even got some small stuff and it just won't go in there. So go ahead and use the factory clamps, put them on there, and then what we got to do, I had to stuff the towel up in there because it wanted to. When I started to put the hoses on there, it tried to push back out, so I stuck that up in there and it went right on just fine. So now what we gotta do is we gotta put the cover plate back on, 4 screws, put the bottom piece back on, we'll fill it up and call it done. Okay, everybody, so we put the plastic cover back on there, we put the carpeted cover back on there, and she's in there. So what we got to do now, we got to top the coolant off. We're going to run the truck, get it up to temperature, check for leaks, and no leaks, we'll call it done. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Got any questions, leave one in the comments, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.